The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack. This like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Friday, January 19th, 2024. I am your host, Scott. You know where to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. Follow the Barbershare Network at BarberShareNet. Also subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershare Network. You can get all the things that we've got on there. Summer sessions, 79th and Hallis, and of course the second hour. Well, not the second hour, we kind of do trials of this. Well, the second part of the show, which we call I'm Not Gonna Hold You Overtime, which will be strictly on the Patreon for the subscribers. It'll be me, Dante, Bang today, and we'll be going over all the things going on in Chicago sports. Yeah, man. So we got a nice loaded show to talk about today. Of course, this is Cousin Dan Fridays. We'll be getting into it with my cousin Dan later on in the show. We'll be doing a full divisional round preview, man. But let's bring everybody in here. I've got my esteemed co-hosts here. We've got Courtney, we've got JR Bang, and we've got Dante. What is going on, people?
Decent, bro. You gotta excuse me. The sun is setting in Atlanta, so shit gonna look crazy for a minute. But
that's
back,
Dante's way of telling you that he does not have the poor Negro view that everyone else has. As he looks over the city of Atlanta. That should be. I said, tell me more about summer sessions. What was that? Burning Hell, be that. But Courtney, how's it going?
Life is great. It's freezing cold. Yesterday it was beautiful. Earlier this week, y'all know we had that crazy storm blow in, but yesterday was beautiful. It was 70. I went out for happy hour. It was gorgeous. And I woke up this morning, and today it's 30 degrees. So, Texas.
Well, that is important. JR Bang, how you feeling, my guy?
Man, I ain't got no kids in the house.
Oh, I know that's got to be amazing.
Throw a gang sign up for
That's
a
why
real
it's
nigga,
so quiet. And I don't hear a vacuum.
Yeah, you don't hear no vacuum. You don't hear no kid. You don't hear shit.
Do you have them? Is it just for today, or are they going for the weekend?
I'm going to get them after this.
Oh, you see how he had the depression in his voice?
The disappointment in his voice, the whole tone changed.
He said, "No, I'm going to get him after this." Oh man, I think I'm doing good, man. It's not it's cold for LA here. It's like 63, which means my heat is on right now. But I'm looking forward to a weekend of playoff football. So I'm looking forward to that, man. But let's get into my sound off to start all of this off, man. This one I'm going to get specifically to Bears fans, and this was not even about y'all. This is about me. This is not about Bears fans. This is not about how you should feel. I'm done telling Bears fans how they should feel. You're going to feel how the fuck you want to feel. This is about me. I'm ready to move on, people. I'm ready to move on. We have had this conversation over the last couple weeks in the I'm Not Gonna Hold You chat, which we have a lot of conversations. There's been a lot of going back and forth, with, whether it should be Justin, whether it should be Caleb. And honestly, I don't know the right answer. I have no idea. But I'm ready to move on as far as I think I'm fully on Team Caleb and going in that direction. Now, I want to be clear, because one thing about Bears fans, one thing about people who just, watch content in general is that, you take things the way you want to take them. Be very clear. I love Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields like he is my own nephew. I have been a fan of his even prior to him being a Chicago Bear quarterback, even prior to him being an Ohio State Buckeye. I was a fan of his from watching him on QB1. And like I said, I'm not a big college football guy. I watched a little bit. I always watched certain big games, but this was the first year that I've been fully into college football. So I'm a big documentary watcher. I will watch a documentary on a fucking toaster oven. That's just how much I like documentaries. And when I saw this QB1 docu-series type series about these young quarterbacks, and it was him and Trevor Lawrence and a couple other people, I really, was moved towards the kid as far as how good he was. And to see the things he went through with Georgia and then transferring to Ohio State, doing what he did there, and of course becoming the Chicago Bears quarterback. Him becoming the Chicago Bears quarterback was one of the top 5 happiest moments in my life as a Bears fan. Now, if you are a Bears fan or know anything about your Bears fans or friends or family, we don't have a lot of fucking fun moments, or great moments. If I can name the best moments in my Bears fandom, it would be the Bears winning the NFC Championship game and going to the Super Bowl. Even the week before that, the NFC Divisional playoff game, Robbie Gold, 50-yard field goal in overtime to beat the Seahawks. I remember running outside in the freezing cold, just being so happy about that. Even though I hate the fucking Super Bowl, and I still to this day, it has been how many years has it been? It's been 17 years. I think it's been 17 years since the Super Bowl. And I have not seen actual highlights from that game, but I do remember the adrenaline I had when Devin Hester ran that kickback. And then, I know we talk a lot of shit about Jay Cutler, but I was extremely happy when we got Jay Cutler, extremely happy when he traded for Khalil Mack. But drafted Justin Fields is in that top 5. But when I say that, it's time to move on. And yes, Alex, my homie Alex in the chat says this is the 5 stages of grief. This is acceptance. You are correct, sir. This is acceptance. I think Justin's going to be great. I think there's a toss-up either way, whether you go with Justin, whether you go with Caleb. I don't think either one of these are surefire things, and both people who will be on Team Caleb or Team Justin need to stop doing it's 100% sure thing. Because you can say things about Justin and say, yes, there was a situation, his coaching, but he still does things that a guy in his 3rd year shouldn't be doing. Those are fair criticisms. If you're a Team Justin guy, you're probably saying, well, Caleb's not a generational talent. And I'm one of the people. I'm not coming off that saying that he's not a generational talent. I think there's one generational talent in this draft, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. But you can say things about him like he didn't do well in the face of adversity. He got sent to God by top 25 teams. You can say all these things. I'm putting my faith in Poles, whichever way he goes, but I'm kind of ready to, just move on. And I think this is a unique situation that the Bears are in. I think Mikey said this a week or two ago. If the Bears had like the number 6 pick and, Carolina won a couple more games or we didn't trade for Carolina's pick, this would be a regular ass offseason. We wouldn't even be talking about a Caleb Williams. But this is such a unique situation. And I think the fear of Justin maybe just being a guy, for me personally, this is just for me, is higher than the fear of me thinking that Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. And that's just pretty much where I'm at with it. I'm ready to go. And I want Justin to go do great. And let's just say Ryan Poles says, oh, we're still going to keep with Justin. I'm 100% with that because I feel either way that they're going to go full in. If they decide to double down on Justin, they're going to give Justin what he needs and put him in the right positions because Ryan Poles' black ass is going to be on the line. And he will never get a job again if he fucks this up. You know what I'm saying? So that's something. And if it's Caleb, for sure they're going to give him the best possible situation. You know what I'm saying? And, so shout out to Orlando Ortiz in the chat. At the end of the day, the Bears in a good position. Either way, I'm at it. So that's pretty much, I stand with it. That's my sound off. I hope Justin goes somewhere and dominates, become a quarterback that we think he can be. And I'll still be a fan of his, but I think it's time for the Caleb Williams era in Chicago, and I'm officially ready for that. So I'm gonna give it to the rest of my my team. What do y'all feel about? Do y'all think I'm just going through the motions right now? What's y'all?
Yeah, you're gonna change your mind next week, nigga. But
it's been changing every week. Respectfully, it has been changing every week.
I have been consistent for a week. I have been consistent for.
He has been
7 whole days. I'm proud of him.
He has been consistent for 7 days, but no,
yes.
Look. But I do think it's going to change, all right? And here's why I think it's going to change.
Okay.
Because we ain't seen the combine yet, and we haven't seen the pro day yet. He's not going to
To be very clear, Caleb is not going to the combine.
Yeah, no, he.
Oh
he
yeah,
has
no.
to go-
Pro day. He's
no,
pro day.
No, he's not going to throw. He's not going to do none of that.
Yeah,
but
you'll
he
be
has
there
to go.
talking.
Yeah, he got to be there to talk and measurements and all of that stuff. So when we get official measurements and we hear him talk to the people at the NFL Network, Rich Eisen and all of them, and talking, your mind might change. And then when the pro day happened, which is going to be probably the most filmed pro day with numerous amount of scouts being there, and if he does what we know he's going to do at the pro day, your mind is going to change. Here's why your mind is going to change. If he goes to this pro day and he absolutely nails it, your mind is going to change because you're going to be like, but damn, how much can we get for that pick? Did y'all just see what just happened? Man, I don't know. Maybe we need to trade that number 1 pick because that boy had every scout over there with the woo face. So
but
that's
this is my counter to that. This is why I don't think I will change that. Because yes, I do know what we can get for him. But if he's that fucking good that you're gonna get that much for him, maybe you should keep him. That's where I'm at with. Like I said, I'm cool either scenario. If Poe says,
"Oh yeah, I know you're cool,"
what I'm gonna get, there's not gonna be a scenario where I'm gonna be upset April 25th.
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be upset.
Unless the name is Drake May, then I will be nigga. I'm going to disturb a lot of things in Detroit, Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, buddy. I'm at the point. Because I said that at the end of the season. I was like, I think we're gonna be good either way. Because I'm at the point now where I fully trust Ryan Poles. Because like outside of the Claypool trade, everything he's done has made sense. Even with last season when he stripped the roster down, because that's what got us the number 1 pick. But everybody hated that he got rid of Khalil Mack's contract and all of that. So whatever move we make, and we about to get into it, I think it's the right move. Like I haven't changed. I'm still keep Justin, build around him, and let's just go forward. But no matter what happens, I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah, Orlando just said it. When Caleb measures at 6 foot, still gonna have some questions. When that motherfucker end up 6, when they measure him and they yell out 6 feet 3/4, you're gonna be like, oh man, hold on. Pat 215 pounds.
But can I just ask
what you gonna say? Hold on before you say that. What you gonna say if they say 5'10", 198 or some shit like that? Then where do you go? No matter how good he throws the ball.
Well, let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. As a member of the untall community, I will not be height shaming my fellow untall brother. Okay,
I'm not gonna be height shaming. Untall at a staggering 5'1".
Look, I don't fat shame, but I don't want no fat woman.
Hey,
just
nigga, I'm with you. I'm with you.
and just like I know women don't fat shame, but they don't want my fat ass.
So I know. No, this is.
Let's not do that, guys.
No. Hold on, Bang.
I would like to state as the only woman on here. I would like to state for the record, as a woman, we generally don't care how tall you are, as long as when you stand on your wallet that you're 7 feet minimum.
I just want to say this and we'll move on. Bang, you have to bring up a good point. I think I've said this on some sessions before. It has nothing to do with sports. How many actual fat couples have you seen in your life? You've either seen a fat woman with a very in-shape man, or you've seen a fat dude with a very pretty woman. You've never seen, how many fat couples have you actually seen together? Let's be honest and be real.
Shit, my cousin and his wife.
Okay, well, you got one example.
The thoughts and views expressed on this program do not represent that of Courtney at 1-800-CALL-A-BRO.
Shit.
Hey, well, that's what the disclaimer is at the beginning of the show.
It's only entertainment.
It's only entertainment. But let's move on so we're not too deep.
But no, real quick. And I still meant everything I said, but real quick. I think everybody is still just like, look, man, we just got to calm down at least till the combine goes and not look at TV, not look at listen to local radio and have all of these debates.
What are you scared of? Take that.
Yeah. Hey, good job, man. Keep up the good work. But you know what? I just think we need to just stay away from that because at the end of the day, the situation that we are in is literally a win-win situation. Exactly. We're and even to the point, I said this on a past show, We are a 7-10 team who could have been 10-7, who has the number 1 pick in the draft without having to trade up. So we don't have to give up any assets. Actually, we got assets, which included the number 1 pick in the draft. So this is one of the most unique positions in NFL history with somebody who has the number 1 pick. So at the end of the day, I stress to anybody who loves the Bears, don't watch the talking heads. Don't get involved in those debates. Just let it play out.
Watch us, though.
Watch us.
Don't watch them niggas. We will have more of this conversation in the Patreon hour, as you can see right here. Overtime, patreon.com/barbershop network. I want to talk about actually what Cap said on his show, which is a classic, great rant by Cap, whether I agree with him or not. We're going to talk about, are Bears fans actually scared of Caleb Williams? We'll talk about that in the Patreon hour. But let's get to our first topic, man. We're talking about, what's going on with the Bears and everything like that. But there is some motion right now. I am here in Los Angeles, California, and one Ryan Poles is also here in Los Angeles, California, as he will be interviewing current USC passing game coordinator Kliff Kingsbury. Of course, Kliff Kingsbury used to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals for a couple seasons, and now he is, being interviewed for this job. I think this is something that's interesting to me, and we'll let my guy Dante gloat in a minute because he called this a long time ago. But this is something that's interesting to me because this isn't a regular interview to me, considering that they've interviewed everybody else via Zoom. I think this is something where this is a legitimate candidate right here. And I know there's a lot of people in Bears Twitter who don't want Kliff Kingsbury, and I actually do understand some of you who don't want him. Wow. But I'm going to tell you why I feel like this will be different. I think in this situation, we can talk about the air raid offense and throwing 50, 60 times a game. That is something that's true. But I think that Kliff is looking for something that if he's going to be hired for this job, and I'm not saying he will be hired for this job, because I do think a big part of this trip for Ryan Poles is also learning more about Caleb Williams. And who else to learn more about Caleb Williams than the guy who coached Caleb Williams this season. So I do feel like that's a big part of it. For all y'all people in my mentions and on the 79th House, we're just talking about, oh, he's going there for good weather. No, niggas is not just coming to LA for good weather, especially when for LA standards, this ain't good fucking weather. So there's more to this, whether you want to admit it or not. But the reason I think it'll be different because number one, the Bears just run the football in general as a franchise system. We want to talk about franchise system. I don't think he will fully abandon the run game. And I also feel like if he's having another chance here, he's going to try to switch things up so he can stay here. I do think he wants to be a head coach again. He's not going to be a head coach again if he's still doing the same fuck ups that he did his last year or two in Arizona. So I do think there will be a change there if he does get hired. And one thing Bears fans do have to understand about this offensive coordinator search, because I see a lot of people, I don't want him. You're not going to get an amazing offensive coordinator because the amazing offensive coordinators are up for actual head coaching jobs. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. You're going to get somebody who has something to prove or has never played called before. And I think that's something that you're going to have to get in this situation. So I do feel like, well, I'm not saying he's my number one. I still think from what I know about Shane Waldron, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know a lot. And that's another thing. Like fans try to act like they know everything about these offensive coordinators. Y'all don't know everything about these offensive coordinators. So what I know about Shane Waldron and Kubiak, I think those will be better than Kliff Kingsbury. But if it is Kliff Kingsbury, I'm not mad about it at all. If you're gonna give the keys to Caleb, let's at least pair him with somebody who knows him well. So that's how I feel about that. I'm gonna give it to Dante here because Dante called this out weeks ago. And what you think about this particular interview that might be going on right now at Nobu Malibu?
Hey, no joke. Like, it's perfect. And for somebody who is, team keep Justin, the fact that it's something that's the complete opposite of what the Bears normally do is why I'm excited by it. Because like I said a couple of weeks ago, if you're going to bring in Caleb, you need to make him as comfortable as possible. And one thing we talked about through the entire 3-year period with Justin is they did not make him comfortable. They had, Getsy telling them to switch which foot he had forward and shotgun. He was completely uncomfortable from jump. So going out here and being serious about Kliff is a sign that, okay, if we take Caleb, we're going to put his best interest first. We're going to make sure that he's comfortable every step of the way as we get him acclimated to the NFL. So for me, I know everything that happened in Arizona, and like you said, at the end of the day, the Bears have always run the football. That's one of the things that we do. So I think as long as the McCaskey family is signing the checks, there will be some emphasis on the run game. But if he can bring us into the modern era, which Poles just talked about, we saw him in the Viking game doing like this when Getsy was fucking dragging ass, not moving the team down the field. Like we know the offense he wants to build, and so if they sign Kliff, I trust them to put the pieces in place around Caleb, and this actually lights a fire under Eberflus because, like you said, Kliff wants to be a coach again. So if he comes in here with Caleb, with his quarterback, it's set up for you to tell Eberflus, hey, bro, you got to win. Like Alex said, bro, you got to win 19 games next year. You got to get the fuck out of here, and we're gonna give Kliff the job because it's Kliff's quarterback. He's gonna groom Caleb. He's gonna be the one in those QB rooms doing all of the work. So, bro, I'm telling you. If they do this, if they sign Kliff, I'm really excited because that lets me know that it's not going to be the typical Bears where they don't put the right structure around their young quarterback. They're going to bring in a guy that he knows, that knows him. This would be like last year when they 3 years ago when they drafted when they drafted Justin, if Ryan Day would have came with him, some shit like that. Like somebody who knows him, who's comfortable with him, who's coached him before. So I think that would be perfect. And so if they do that, bro, that'll make me really just be like, all right, I know we good either way, but right now I'm still on, keep Justin. If they sign Kliff, bring me Caleb Williams. I take whatever comes with it.
I want to say this, but then I'll go to Courtney to get her opinion on this. But I will say this too: we got to stop judging what he did as a head coach when it comes to being an offensive coordinator. Prime example: Josh McDaniels, god awful head coach. He's a good offensive coordinator, and also. Kliff was also not the offensive coordinator at USC last year. You know what I'm saying? He was passing game coordinator. Exactly. That's something different too. It's not like he was the one over there calling plays at USC. Now, Courtney, you're somebody who's not emotionally attached to this. What do you feel about the potential of Kliff Kingsbury being the Bears offensive coordinator?
I mean, I know you just said it right now that you got to separate, I guess, to a degree, the art from the artist because he wasn't. There's just been nothing particularly. As long as Kliff Kingsbury has been in any kind of real coaching position, Texas Tech, they wanted him out of there, so they let him go. And then he went to USC, and wasn't he the offensive coordinator at USC before he left to go to Arizona?
Am
I misremembering? I might be misremembering. I don't think
No, he didn't coach a game. He didn't coach a game. He got hired to be the offensive coordinator, but he took the interview for Arizona and then
got the job with Arizona, right?
Yeah.
And again, this is me going back to the whole Caleb Williams thing. I know y'all are going to talk about it on the Patreon, but I'm not going to be on there. So here are my thoughts. I don't think Caleb Williams is generational enough to substantiate not trading that pick and then developing Justin Fields. If you do want to obviously take I wouldn't take Kliff Kingsbury. Why can't you just develop Justin? I know the whole idea of the personal relationships and, that was his guy. And no, I don't believe in Kliff Kingsbury enough to make that kind of leap and give up on how many potential picks that you could get out of that number one pick. I don't see it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
That's a fair point. That was definitely fair points about him always, ending up in different situations for sure. Bang, what's your opinion? I really don't even know how you feel about this. I don't think we really got your take on this whole Kliff thing.
No, not really. But we're talking about an offensive coordinator. We're not talking about a head coach.
Yeah,
Kliff Kingsbury is a good offensive coach. He wasn't a good head coach, but offensively. He's as an offensive coordinator, as a man who does offense only. He's okay. He's good.
Is that what you want? Okay, good.
But wait a minute. Here's the thing. Like we sitting up here talking like everybody know which offensive mind is going to be the best offensive coordinator in the world. Like first of all, let me just get this out here, and this is to everybody. All right, ain't none of y'all niggas really deep diving into offensive coordinators until one interviewed. All right, ain't nobody sitting up there looking at and going like during the season like, oh man, Bobby Slowick, he might be a good one. Nobody's doing that shit. So let's just stop because none of y'all niggas knew half of the niggas that got interviewed until they got interviewed. But let me go to the year that the Arizona Cardinals under Kliff Kingsbury went to the playoffs. Now, first of all, on that team, he had Kyler Murray and he had DeAndre Hopkins. So, and we already know that was a hella decent combination when they played together. But some folks might be like, oh, no, he's not going to run the ball. Oh. Hey, James Conner was on that team, right? He played in 15 games. He started in 6 of them. He ran the ball 202 times. Chase Edmonds played in 12 games, started in 11 games. He rushed 116 times. Now, I'm not going to add 202 plus 116, but we all know what that means. There's a lot of running backs who do that themselves. He ran the ball. But at the time, James Conner wasn't the James Conner that he is right now, because that offensive line was still spotty at the time. Do y'all watch football or do y'all just look at the highlights? Kliff Kingsbury on the offensive side of the ball is a good candidate for this position. All right. Now, some of these other folks that's been interviewed, Greg Roman, we know the situation with him, and we know the situation with the Baltimore Ravens. Dez Bryant is already like, yo, if I'm a wide receiver, just go ahead and trade me, fam. Just go ahead and trade y'all. But what I'm saying is that out of the candidates that they've interviewed, him and Shane Waldron are the best candidates by the numbers. The problem is Shane didn't get fired, y'all. His coach retired.
Yep.
So whoever that is, let's just say, for instance, it is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn might keep this man.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you look at both situations and you look at the head coaching situation with the Bears and how Eberflus ain't getting no contract extension, so he still might be somebody who could be gone after this year if they don't start off, if they're not a good team, which is quite possible if you go with a rookie quarterback. Hey, everybody getting fired. They're not going to fire him, but then keep me around. They're going to go get another head coach. So Shane probably might look at the Seattle Seahawks situation with, let's say, Dan Quinn and say, you know what? I'm good. I'll stay here. I know Geno Smith. I'm straight. We know the running back situation we got here. We got good wide receivers over here. Multiple. And DJ Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and I can't pronounce my man's name from Ohio State. I'm good.
Jackson. Which comes JSN.
Yeah. JSN. Can't pronounce my man's name, so I don't want to mess it up. But I might be good here. Kliff knows this guy. They're tight. That's what you want. You don't want to come into and that was the issue with Getsy. You assumed that Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback that he coached as the quarterback's coach. So it's like, and he came in and tried to coach Justin like Aaron Rodgers. No, that's not what we're doing here. Because Justin Fields and Jordan Love are even two different style of quarterbacks. But if you could bring in a quarterback and a person who's worked with this quarterback and knows this quarterback and bring in an offense that's going to spread things out, and as I just showed y'all, still be able to run the ball, because also that year when it comes to touchdowns, James Conner had 15, y'all. He had 15 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's a good stat. I mean, you bring up great points, man. I think this is something that for some reason we've seen more vitriol towards him than fucking Greg Roman. And I think that's a fucking issue.
Because that nigga house. Yeah, you know why they hate him? Because of draft day and the crib that he was in during draft day. They hate that man because his hair looked nice. You can see his ankles when he wears pants. They hate him because all of those reasons, fam. They don't hate that man because coaching, because that last year that he was with the damn Cardinals, that whole team looked like shit. And it wasn't all like, come on, fam.
You saying you saying they hate him because he got hoes? That's
they hate him because he don't go like to the underground to take all the hoes.
I seen niggas, I want to see that nigga in Whole Foods. Like, okay, nigga, like whatever. But let's move on. We will talk more about this in the Patreon hour, man. We're gonna give a little actual deep dive into what this whole process that Ryan Poles got going on, man. But let's go to something that is dear to Dante's heart because he lives in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We talking about head coaches, we talking about coaches and shit like that. Bill Belichick, the GOAT, the greatest coach of all time, looks like he's heading to the ATL. Bankhead Beli is the name that is probably going to be running around there. I think. Did you say Jared gave him that name, Dante?
Yeah. Jared came up with that yesterday.
Yeah, Jared came up with that. Shout out to Jared, King's Landing podcast, up right now. New episode. Check that out. Actually, it's not Shameless Plug. It's on networks. Check that shit out. But Bankhead Beli looks like he's going to be there. He met twice. With Arthur Blank used one of his private jets, and that was a real rich statement. One of his private jets. It's a lot to have one. This nigga has multiple. Okay,
yeah.
One of his private jets.
Exactly.
He had dinner with them last night. He's still in the Atlanta area today. Josina Anderson and Diana Rossini are both reporting that unless it's a snag, they are expecting for Bill Belichick to be named to be named the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And I follow a lot of Falcons fans. Shout out to all my Falcons fans, homies on the Twitter TL. And all y'all upset. And I don't understand why. I personally do not understand why. And I had a conversation with my brother today, and he said that the Patriot way is washed. And, it was more players and things like that, which I do not think he's wrong. But if you're Bill Belichick, because I think there was rumors of his staff coming together, and there was Josh McDaniels' name that popped up. I think Matt Patricia's name is out there. And Falcons fans like, I don't want them. Nigga, your coach was Arthur Smith. Now your coach is going to be the greatest coach in the history of this game. That's like going from a fucking Prius to a Bentley, nigga. You like, well, I don't really like the inside of the car. This ain't a 2024. Like, get the fuck out of here. I got Matt Eberflus is my coach. And y'all over here complaining about Bill goddamn Belichick. And let's be real. After the 24 years that he was 24 years that he was head coach of the New England Patriots, feels like, well, it doesn't work anymore. This nigga made the playoffs every year with exception of one. I think he only missed it 1 year. I think he only missed it one. Maybe it was twice, maybe. And no, it's twice because Brady got hurt, but they still won 10 games that year. And they barely missed it. He has a system. And if you look at this year, it's because they had two ass quarterbacks and Bailey Zappi and the waste of a pick.
Forget ass quarterbacks. They had an ass team. The issue, I told y'all on this show, man, the issue was the players that was picked. It wasn't the coaching. It was the players that was picked. Fam, that team had no players. So if you bring this nigga over to Atlanta with the players, man, Kyle Pitts will be eating his ass off, fam.
That's my point. What? You got Kyle Pitts, you got Drake London, you got a good team there. And let's be real, Desmond Ridder is not going to be on the center next year.
Oh, fuck that! Hey, fuck that!
I know.
Bijan Robinson running back in
maybe Justin Fields.
I'm saying that would be, in my opinion, that's such a good. That's why I'm saying, and I can't get on board with the Team Caleb to Chicago shit. I can't get on board with it because, in my opinion, it seems more logical to me to build around someone who you've already seen the flashes of greatness. Now, I know that Justin Fields is not the prospect that Caleb Williams is being touted as. I understand that. But I also understand that if Caleb Williams is as great as he's supposed to be, you could flip that, send Justin Fields to Atlanta under Bill Belichick, keep Justin Fields, pardon me, and then send that pick off, man. I'm just saying, Caleb Williams.
We agree with you.
I don't think you do, though, Scott.
No, I agree. I just told you I'm ready to turn a new leaf. I didn't say I'm not disagreeing with you.
He's just beating up. He's beating up.
Yeah. And another reason Belichick is would succeed in Atlanta is because JR, you mentioned a lot of the players that were selected. He was helping select the players. They have a good GM here already, so he's going to be strictly focusing on being the head coach. Terry and those guys have done a great job infusing this team with talent, and they're going to keep doing that. So they really got to just hit on the quarterback. And if you fuck around and let Bill Belichick trade for Justin Fields with the weapons they already have,
that would be crazy.
It's going to be a problem, bro.
They got talent on the offensive side of the ball.
I just want to say, look, I know y'all don't like Josh McDaniels, but Josh McDaniels with Justin Fields, with Bijan Robinson, with Drake London,
Kyle.
Yeah.
And they're gonna draft the
nigga.
receiver. They got the 8th pick.
Yeah,
and time out.
Nigga.
You motherfuckers better pray. They got the 8th pick. You better pray that Bill Belichick don't draft Brock Bowers from UGA.
Oh, that's a Belichick guy.
Him and Cal Pitts on both sides. He get man, if he get Brock Bowers, he's going to get what he got when he had Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Come on, y'all.
Foolish.
Can I just say that as an Alabama fan and a Saints fan, I already am having like warlike PTSD flashbacks.
And the division, right? The division is a weak division. The division is a weak division. He will go in there, and we will be the favorite to win the NFC South off of his name alone. But we talking about the offensive side of the ball. They got people on the defensive side of the ball too.
Yep.
Like they got talent on the defensive side of the ball. So you mean to tell me this will be the best team that he's coached as far as talent goes? Players' talent. I ain't talking about wins, losses. I'm talking about talented players. This will be the most talented team that he has coached in years. I'm even meaning more talented than some of the teams that Tom Brady had, because Tom Brady was on the team, so you didn't need to have all of these players. But on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, you give Bill Belichick those people, he's at least going to win that division, fam. At least. And you don't want to get him in the playoffs with that talent.
This is Baker Mayfield erasure.
Yeah. Shout out my man Baker. We're gonna get into Baker later. But that's also they're in that division. That division is fucking food, nigga. Like I all much love to the Bucks. I like what the Bucks doing. I actually do feel that motherfucking Baker's found a home, and I do think that Baker is gonna be good. Baker would have had even better yards on Monday if all them niggas wasn't dropping passes. Like he had 3 touchdowns, the niggas were still dropping mad passes. So
he's gonna eat this weekend though. Shout out to my man Mikey with the over. Yeah,
shout out to Mikey. And by the way, get well, Mikey. Mikey is sick right now. So let's send some prayers up for our brother right now so that he'll get ready. He will have some gambling odds. I'll tweet that
Orlando.
out.
Yeah, I say this. Yeah, that's dead. Alex,
JJ McCarthy's not coming to Atlanta.
They may go pass rush in the first round, but if Penix falls out of the first round, which most likely he will, don't be surprised if they go after Michael Penix. Like everybody keeps saying Bo Nix. Bo Nix is very mid, bro. I don't think anybody. Bo Nix is gonna be a career backup. He's gonna be a Chase Daniels type. Like he's gonna get into the league and be here for a while. But nah, if they don't make the move for Justin, which I really think they're gonna do it.
Bojangles Knicks, you are a Falcons.
No, after going through what they went through with Heineke and Ritter, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be a new quarterback there, man. I think that's a perfect situation. So y'all need to stop complaining about having the greatest coach of all time, nigga. Because I wish that I was hearing Bill Belichick basically telling Chicago media to fuck off every damn Wednesday and Monday. I wish we were doing that, but instead I gotta listen to Eberflus. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic on the show, man. The next topic we got here, we're gonna talk about another coach. This one here is a guy who should be fired, but he is not fired. That is one Mike McCarthy. He has been brought back this week by the Dallas Cowboys. Not really a shocker to me, because one thing you know about Jerry Jones, for some reason he don't let go of coaches. Like Jason Garrett is a prime example. That nigga was there way longer than he needed to be, man. Even some of the years with Parcells. Parcells was there maybe a little bit longer than he needed to be. But I think this particular situation is terrible for the Dallas Cowboys. I know. Shout out our guy Cool Hype Mike on Some Dude podcast. I know he's probably upset about this. I didn't get to talk to him about it.
No, he's not. He's okay.
He's fine with it.
Mike is at the point like us when it comes to the Bears, like you when it comes to the White Sox. It's like, yo, at this point, it is what it is. I'm
not is what it is with White Sox. I'm not a fan of the White Sox.
He's almost there.
Yeah, I'm is what it is with the Bulls. I'm not a fan of the White Sox.
The Bulls. How you feel about the Bulls is how he feel about the Dallas Cowboys at this point. He's good.
He's giving it up to God. I think this is a mistake because, as I said on Monday, they need to restart. They need to rebuild this, man. This core, at least with Dak Prescott as quarterback, has been here for about 7 seasons at the bare minimum. It's not going to work. And I'm not sitting up here saying Mike McCarthy is 100% to blame. He takes a big part of it. He doesn't call the best play calls. He doesn't do the best job of rallying the troops. But you also got to look in the eyes of them sorry-ass players that are not getting it done each and every week. As we saw, Michael Irvin say, "Oh, they asses gotta go." Whatever he said when he was looking at a balcony. Look like he was looking at over fucking Fox Hills Mall. I don't know what part of LA that nigga was in, but it looked like Fox Hills Mall. I don't know why.
That nigga was right out. That nigga was across the street from LAX.
Yeah, he's right over there from LAX, yelling about Westfield. But you gotta get rid of him, man. I don't understand why he's staying there. This is one of the main reasons. I think the main reason, I think Rita said this on Monday, that this team is not where they need to be, is because Jerry fucking Jones. And this is just another reason of that, man. Courtney, you are the resident Cowboys hater. What do you feel about this?
I mean, it's exactly what Rita said. It's what I have said for a long time. And someone made a really good analogy that I think is spot on about how when you have this incredible restaurant, the restaurant in this case being, the Cowboys franchise, and you bring in these incredible chefs to help you lead the franchise and get it to where, or the restaurant to where it's supposed to be. And then the chef becomes more important than the restaurant. And that's why he had beef with, in my opinion, with Jimmy Johnson for so long. When the chef overtakes the owner of the restaurant, I don't think that Jerry Jones, as long as he is alive, the Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl because he thinks he's more important. Yeah, he thinks he's more important than the team itself and then the leader of that team. And as long as he's around, Cowboys are never going to see heaven. So sorry.
Bang, what you think about this, man?
Damn, as long as he alive, he ain't gonna win anything.
I mean, she ain't lying. Is she lying?
This is just morbid. That's all I'm saying. No, man. I mean, it is what it is at this point because he is like, how old is he? How old is he? Like 81?
In death for a long time.
See, y'all got to stop that, man.
He's very old. He's old.
He old in the motherfucker.
I hope he dies. I want the rest of the
I'm joking.
Hey, man, look, this nigga, Bron say he trying to beat Father Time. Jerry Jones been beating Father Time for about a decade now.
Bro, they just caught the nigga in the civil rights photo. Like he old as hell. Like he old.
You gotta be to be damn near 20. When niggas was getting dog sick on him, like that's how old Jerry Jones is, bro.
Man, look, I think they should have Dan Orlovsky, and I want to shout out to Dan Orlovsky because I tweeted this a couple of times. Dan Orlovsky is under the thoughts that the Cowboys should blow it up, and I agree with him. I think that the Dallas Cowboys and the Bulls remind me of each other for this very reason. Hey, man, as long as we keep going to the playoffs and have a chance, we're going to keep people in the seats.
Correct.
And that's what the Cowboys are. They are that. And not saying that he don't want to win no title, but he's just like, yo, we just got to get to the playoffs. When we get to the playoffs, anything can happen. And then he sit up there and watch his team get a ass whooped by the number 7 seed, a team they should have beaten. They need to blow it up to build it back up. Man, they have assets. Only person I ain't trading is Micah Parsons, fam. But Diggs, brother. But I would blow it up, get picks, and just try to rebuild a bit more quicker. Because this team right here, they keep saying, oh man, coaching, they just need a new coach. Man, we were saying that shit when they fired Jason Garrett and they brought in Mike McCarthy. Who the fuck you gonna get? Bill Belichick would be that person. He would be that person
over Jerry Jones's dead body.
But Bill Belichick, hey, Bill Parcells is his homie. So his homie, nah, fam, you don't want to do that, Jack. Nah, Bill did that. So hopefully you ain't got to go through that. Talking about Parcells. So I just think they need to blow it up. Dak is good, but I also believe that Dak needs a change of scenery. I don't think he needs to be under the lights of Cowboys and America's team and all of that. Go to another team with less pressure because it's a lot of pressure that comes with being the Dallas Cowboy quarterback. It always has. Retool that team, rebuild on the fly, get a bit younger, and then I think they'd be okay because it's still the Cowboys. You're still going to be able to track people but it starts with the head coach and the quarterback. And I think the quarterback is deer under the headlights when the pressure gets to him. But that also happens when you are the quarterback again of the Dallas Cowboys. So let's just go ahead and switch that up and get somebody else.
All right. Dante, what you got on this?
I mean,
you're on mute, brother. There you go.
No, I saw.
He said, "Leave me alone, nigga. I got it."
Yeah. I'm cool with it, but I agree they need to blow it up. I don't think McCarthy was really the problem. I think when you look at that defense, we talked about it, and we saw the Bears do it in Week 17, where the defenses were aggressive, and then when you play Green Bay, you sit back in zone and allow LaFleur to just pick you apart. Like I said, the average separation for the Green Bay receivers was like 5.2 yards every completion, which is fucking crazy. So you saw that, but you've seen this team be able to, again, like you said, just make the playoffs. So I'm not necessarily sure a new voice is what you need in terms of, you may need a new signal caller. Like I've talked about Dak Prescott, I crack my jokes, but at the end of the day, I think he's just a okay quarterback. He beats up on the weaker teams, but every time they've had some really tough games, really games they needed to win, not only has he done enough, he not done enough, but their defense hasn't done enough either. So it's just when you got that constant combination of just failure, you saw with Romo, it's like, all right, bro, just move on. I think that's kind of why they brought in Trey Lance, because they want to see if they can work with him and see what McCarthy can unlock in him. I wonder if we'll ever see that. But yeah, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm cool with McCarthy coming back, because that's, continuity is key sometimes, and this is a team that has won, a lot of games over these past 3 seasons. So it's not necessarily the head coach to me. It's players need to execute, and like when you have players who get the paychecks, get the salaries, get the recognition, but then they don't execute, we want to shit on the coach and fire him and throw him out the way. Nah, I think with Dallas, Dak, you didn't got your money far too often in games where they needed him to be that guy. Like you said, we're gonna go win this game. Dak don't get it done. So if anything, I blow it up, but I'm fine with them keeping McCarthy.
All right, man. Let's move on to our next topic, man. I want to talk about something that's kind of I don't know if it's a difficult conversation, but we got to have an honest conversation about the Rooney Rule here. The Rooney Rule is something, for those of you who don't really know what it means, or something put together the NFL implemented, I think, almost 20 years ago. Don't quote
me.
Yeah,
2002, if I'm not mistaken.
2002, 2005. It was 2005-ish range, 2002, in between that, at least 20 years ago. Basically, you have to interview minority candidates so they can get fair shots at becoming a head coach. And this is also put together by the Rooney family, who own the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course, their coach is Mike Tomlin, who has been there forever. And as he told his team this week, he will continue to be there. He will be coming back next year for 2024 season. I don't really know how I feel about this, because it's kind of, it's a situation where I feel like it's needed. And I'm not here to say that, Rooney Rule needs to go away or anything like that. But to me, it's kind of being used as, let's just get the shit out the way. Like, I don't really know like how serious it's taken. I mean, how many actual black coaches do we currently have in the NFL? I mean, you have Mike Tomlin, you have this is gonna sound funny, but you have Mike McDaniel, you have Antonio Pierce just got officially named as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm trying to think, am I missing anybody? I don't know if I'm missing one or two.
Todd Bowles,
head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. D'Amico Ryans, coach of the Texans, and I think that's it. I think that's it. So it's about 4 to 5 actual black head coaches in the NFL. So I do feel like it's Mayo. Oh yeah, Gerard Mayo. And by the way, shout out to Gerard Mayo. I like what he said in his press conference. I do see race. And in that market, that's something you have to say. And if you look at the comments on the announcement that he was the head coach, pure Boston in those quotes on Twitter and then Instagram, man. But I feel like it's something that's still needed. But
it was only 3 of them. Yep,
it was only 3. Yeah.
Well, 3.5.
3.5. Well, I feel like it's something. Go ahead.
Is Buddy from the Jets just a person of color? He not black?
Oh yeah.
We talking about black, not person of color, because Robert Salah is
person of color. Is okay, yes. Well, if you're
Robert Salah. The Rooney Rule is just minority or now woman as well.
Yes.
See, thank you. I know I wasn't the only
one. That whopper head looking dude that coached the Jets ain't black. but for minority, yeah, Robert Salah would count. It would have been Ron Rivera, but he got fired. So yes, there's others too, but we just talking about black names. It's only 3 or 4. My thing is this: I feel like it's something that it needs to stay, but I feel like it needs to be reframed a little bit. But at the same time, it's like, how can you make an organization hire a black candidate, even they do all the things that the rules say you're supposed to do? I'm going to Bang first, man. What do you feel about the Rooney Rule, and like if there's any way to kind of change it or update it to make it be more effective?
Nah, it ain't no other way. It's at least I can't think of any other way. Like, you can't force nobody to hire who they want. And quite honestly, I don't like the Rooney Rule for that reason. Like, if I know I want to hire Jim Harbaugh, so if like I'm the Cardinals, if I know for a fact that I want to hire Jim Harbaugh, then let me hire Jim Harbaugh. Now, if it's a situation where, you know what, Jim Harbaugh might be the guy, but I want to talk to him, then you talk to him, but you got to talk to other people too. But if I know that I'm going to hire this person, why I got to talk to other people? Why do I got to go send these people off and make them think that, maybe it's a shot? Very rarely you get a situation like Mike Tomlin. I don't know if y'all remember, but when Bill Cowher retired, they thought Russ Grimm, offensive line coach, they thought Russ Grimm was the heir apparent to Bill Cowher. They went through the whole interview process and they interviewed Mike Tomlin. And they went through the process and was like, you know what? I think I like that Mike Tomlin. And they hired him. That's what makes the Rooney Rule Steelers. That's what made it so attractive. You assumed that you was going to go with this guy, but you interviewed somebody else, and it turned out to be a better pick. Now, Russ Grimm, who interviewed for the Bears position a couple of times, he interviewed for Arizona, and I think it was a couple other jobs. He never got a head coaching job. But Mike Tomlin is still a head coach. But people listen to that story and they have, delusions of, oh man, maybe with the Rooney Rule, you can find the Mike Tomlin. But if I want to hire Jim Harbaugh, I should just be able to hire Jim Harbaugh. And that's why I don't like the Rooney Rule, because it feels like you're forcing people to feed somebody else a dream. Because do you think some of these GMs want to interview some of these black and people of color?
No.
The Jets knew more than likely they wanted Robert Salah. They just want to go through the interview process. Who else? There's other D'Amico Ryans. Did you see goddamn JJ Watt talk to him at the end of that damn game? JJ Watt said, yo, go make the Texans great.
Yeah, he did say that shit.
So they knew we didn't even have to do a Rooney Rule and interview any other people of color. That's who they wanted. And yeah, I know it's a boys club, but it just feels forced. I think it's another way of doing it, but I'm sorry, I just don't know how, and I wish I could say it, but this just don't feel right. It feels fake.
Let's talk to our Morehouse man here on the panel. Dante, what you feel about the Rooney Rule?
You're a funny nigga. I think that more than anything, bro, it's just outdated. It's outdated, and because it just feels cliche. Every time you see a team line up a head coaching candidate that they know they want, it's always like, hold up, bring this nigga in so we could throw the token interview out there. With Steve Wilkes a few years ago, he was getting interviewed everywhere. The Falcons, we know they're gonna get signed Belichick, but they bringing in Raheem Morris, who used to work here. So it's like, if you wanted to hire him, you could have kept him in the building and hired him. So it's like, at this point, it just feels so much like BS. Like, in theory, the spirit of the rule, it really makes sense, and you want to see people at least get in those rooms to get those opportunities. So when you do get turned down, you quote unquote know what you did wrong. That's the theory, at least. But in reality, when most of these jobs are already handpicked, like, they just running you through the motions. So it's one of those things where it's like JR said, how do you change it? You can't change people's minds. You can't change people's mentality. And that's really what it is. Like you should be able to hire a black coach just off the strength. It shouldn't matter. But unfortunately it do. And the rule hasn't, as we've seen, it hasn't really changed anything. You still see a handful of head coaches. It's going to continue to be a handful of head coaches, despite the fact, shout out to AP being added to the list, Antonio Pierce. But it's just one of those things we're going to have to really play the long game. That's the only way it's actually going to change when these owners get in here and say, okay, I can hire this guy. Now, maybe with a lot of the old families and the old money leaving sports and the new money coming in and all these venture capitalist guys, maybe they, they're so performance-based. They'll look at it and say, I don't give a fuck what color you are. We'll see. But that's really the only way it's going to change.
Courtney, take us on this topic. What you feel about everything with the Rooney Rule? You on mute?
Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, I feel like we could say that about any industry, though, right? Like, I mean, yeah, I also work, in sports professionally aside from this. But you could say that about literally any industry.
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, and inclusivity are being pushed so heavily in the workplace. And I know the Rooney Rule is a couple decades old now at this point, but you could say that about every industry on the planet now. Diversity is currency. And as long as that sort of structure socially exists where it sends a big signal to your fan base, because you're trying to reach out to as many possible diverse groups as you can to get money. Right. But yeah, it's insulting. I think the application of the rule is the insulting part, right? Like, you listen, certain people, like we said, want certain coaches going into it already. So just thinking about the people that are being strung along, like why are the Chargers interviewing David Shaw?
Right.
When's the last time David Shaw coached a team? I'm not saying he doesn't have NFL experience. I know he does, which it's actually kind of funny.
Oh, whoa.
With Jim Harbaugh.
Courtney, I didn't even think about it until you said it. I didn't even think about it until you said
what?
It. It's definitely the application of the Rooney Rule. That's Harbaugh's man's.
Yeah.
That's Harbaugh's man's. So if I'm a black NFL offensive, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, all of that, I'm not going to interview with the Chargers when we know that's who you want. But hey, yo, Jim, we gonna tell David we gonna interview you.
Correct.
Interview him, and we're gonna interview one of your other mans to satisfy this, and we'll make sure they take it care of.
Raheem Morris, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, same shit. That was Sean McVay's understudy.
Yeah.
Same shit. It's insulting. It's insulting to my intelligence as a person and as a sports fan, and our intelligence as sports fans.
It is insulting because it's also like when you have the Rooney Rule candidate come up, like we said this with the Bears. I forgot who they interviewed this week. It was a black candidate interviewed
Thomas Brown.
Yeah, Thomas Brown. I was like, oh yeah, the announcement's coming soon because they're doing the Rooney Rule interviews. Like, and we know there's a certain amount of time that you got to wait to sign somebody. So that's what you're seeing with the Jim Harbaugh thing. So you're right, it's playing in our face. Like, and it's with any type of business, like you just said, Courtney. There's a quota that needs to be met. You know what I'm saying? With you have to have diversity. You're a diversity hire and things like that. It's fucked up. I wish I had the answers on how to change it. I don't know how it's going to change. And because if you go by,
I think I got it. Sorry, Scott, but I think I got it. I don't want to forget it. If you know that this is the head coach you want, then put in the request to bypass the Rooney Rule. Now, if you want to know how that works, look no further than Gerard Mayo and the New England Patriots.
Yep.
They had it in this contract and they submitted it to the NFLPA. And the NFL, so they know. So once Bill Belichick is gone, he's the replacement. We ain't got to interview nobody else. They didn't take no interviews. It was already in there. Boom, there you go. So with the Chargers, if you know that Jim Harbaugh is the guy, then what you do is submit to say, hey, this is the guy that we want. If we interview him and everything goes well, because he can still bomb that shit. If we interview him and it goes well, please allow us to hire insert person here. Go look at the Raiders. The Raiders actually interviewed people. I think they went into this offseason not even wanting to give Antonio Pierce the job, because I think they could have bypassed this the similar way as Gerard Mayo. Or maybe they had to go through the search. But I think that they went through this interview process like, let's see who else is out there. But they did. They went through this whole process for it. They didn't just go and say, hey, let's say Ben Johnson is here, so we want to get him. No, there should be a selection of people that says, if we want this person, we go through the interview process, we can hire them. If not, we got to go. If we don't hire them, if we don't make that decision, then we have to go through the whole process. That's the way of doing it to me.
I think that's a great answer right there, man. I do agree with that. We are 10 minutes away from Cousin Dan Fridays, as we will be giving a full preview of the NFL Divisional Round. But I just got a quick question for my comrades here, Bang and Dante, as we are on the eve of Divisional Round. In the chance, because there's a chance, I hate to say it, but there's a chance that there is a NFC Championship game in downtown Detroit between the Detroit Lions and the dreaded Green Bay Packers. I hope to God it doesn't happen. But are you boycotting the game if that is the matchup that we get next Sunday?
Hell no. I'm going to watch. And at the end of the day, I done told y'all several times, the Bears don't cut me a check for this shit. Like, I love football. It's the NFC Championship. I'm gonna watch. Like, and if anything, it's one of the reasons why we should be watching, because it's like we're watching two competent football franchises, something we haven't seen in a very long time. It looks like we on the way there, but no, you should watch it. If you love ball, watch that shit. Because like at the end of the day, that's where you want to be. So nah, I don't.
I told y'all last week that y'all are like the Squidward meme where he's watching SpongeBob and Patrick have one outside while he's looking through his window. That's y'all for sure.
It 100% is. I'm not going to sit up here and act like that I won't watch, because I will watch. I will be hate watching. And I will hope that scene that happened in The Dark Knight Returns, where the entire Heinz Field blew up, that's what I will hope that happens, so that no team fucking wins. And y'all can say what y'all want to say about how I feel about that. That's just how I personally feel, because I don't want either to fucking win. So that's where I'm at. But no, I will never boycott the NFL. If I didn't boycott during when Kaepernick kneeled, I'm definitely not going to boycott now. It's fucked up. But Roger Goodell can look me in the eye and call me a nigga, and I would be like, that is your opinion. And I will keep watching on Sunday. It's just is what it is.
I don't know about that, but I will say this.
I'm not gonna hold you. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know if it's the Lions versus the Packers in the NFC Championship game. I don't know if I can watch it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
It's not even about the Bears not being there. It's about seeing how far we are. And it'll be another stab at seeing how far we are.
I don't see how you can hate from outside the club. You can't even.
I ain't hating. No, I ain't hating.
That was unnecessary.
Right, that was unnecessary.
Damn.
It was nothing about hating. I ain't say shit. See, Courtney, I ain't say nothing bad about any of the players or the teams. I just said, look, it ain't no hating. If I can't get in the club, I'm going to another one. So if they up in the NFC Championship game, I'm sure I could play Madden. Goddamn it, I'm sure I could go watch an NBA game. Shit, I could go give me some pussy. Like, I mean, I go have sex with my wife instead of watching that game, nigga. You not gonna watch the game, baby? No, we're about to do it. And you know who gonna be happy? She gonna be happy because she gonna get some dick on the Sunday afternoon, motherfucker. So if that happens, I'm
at
sure
3 p.m. Central.
At 3 p.m. Central, I'm sure that I can find some other shit to do than watch the Lions and the Packers in the NFC Championship game and have fun doing it. So I'm straight. Hey.
I'm gonna throw up soon there. Golf, love, shots to Vegas. It's gonna piss me off. It's like a level I can't describe. And
now, baby, take your clothes off, baby. Take your clothes off. You're not gonna watch the game, no.
I just have nothing to say about it. I really hope it doesn't happen. I do think, and we're gonna get into this in a minute, I think it's a way higher chance that Detroit gets there than Green Bay. But don't fuck me on this, San Francisco, because I'm looking at y'all. As I said on Twitter today, and like Stephen A says, you don't want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it. You better get the goddamn job done because the fucking Cowboys, fuck the Cowboys forever. I've been having to hear about Jordan Love. He looks like Rodgers. I've been hearing that for damn near 7 calendar days.
Look how he threw off his back leg.
Look how he threw it. He's the next generation. You know, I don't want to hear it no more because the fucking Cowboys defense decided just not to fucking show up, man. So I don't want to hear that shit anymore. As we'll be waiting for Dan to join us in just a minute, I just want to ask you guys, we're getting ready into going the divisional weekend. What are some things that you are looking forward to this season before we get into the actual game breakdown?
I'm honestly, I'm really just looking forward to CJ Stroud's first divisional game. That's going to be exciting for me. I know we'll get into our predictions and all that in a little bit, but I'm really, really excited to see CJ Stroud. I know it's on the road. I know it's going to be cold and snowy. I'm just excited.
I'm excited to see the new era Manning Brady. I know we got some Josh Allen haters in the house. Actually, we only got one in the house today because Mikey is on his sick bed looking at mock drafts. But I'm excited for this kind of new era, the third playoff installment of Brady Manning 2.0. As they have the record, they've played 6 times, 3-3 record. Patrick Mahomes is 2-0 against them in the playoffs, and I'm also excited to see Patrick Mahomes be on the road. We've never seen this nigga on the road. In fact, we haven't seen the Chiefs on the road since 2015. Like that. That's how damn long it's been since we've seen him. You know, since the Chiefs been on the road. So if Lamar loses to CJ, Scott is gonna cut a Hollywood rock like promo. No, I have no beef with Lamar. If they, I hope Lamar wins. You know what I'm saying? I want Lamar to win. I don't want to hear more about the Bears should have got CJ. I don't want to hear that shit.
First of all, you're not gonna cut a promo because it's 2 black quarterbacks. You don't care enough. Like,
okay.
One black man beating another. You all right? It don't matter to you.
Oh man, that's the things I'm excited to see. Dante, what you excited to see this weekend?
Bro, I'm just excited for football as a whole. Like, I really think, Christian McCaffrey. I'm excited to see what Brock Purdy does. You know, a lot of the Purdy hype, we've been talking about this all season. I want to see what happens in the playoffs. I understand that team is still loaded, but I want to see how Brock responds to the pressure because it is different than a regular season game. Like, I understand what they were able to do up until, he got hurt in the before the NFC Championship last season, but I want to see it this year because they've been the favorites all year. And, here we are. You at home against a team that you should be beating. Let's see what happens. So that Packers-Niners game, it could get ugly, but at the same time, I think that's the one I'm really keying in on because I want to see how Purdy reacts.
Bang, what you looking forward to? And then we're going to bring Dan in here in just a minute.
Man, the last time the Bills and the Chiefs played, that touchdown at the end cost me $10,000.
Ooh. I would watch another Pats or
I'm watching that game again, and I'm going to do probably the same damn bet because that game right there is, look, football lives off of games like this. Brady Manning, Aikman versus Young, Favre versus Young, or Favre versus Aikman. Bradshaw versus whoever with the Raiders had at the time, Kenny Stabler. Like, Montana versus Phil Simms.
Love versus Purdy.
Okay. You just had to fucking ruin it. Anyway, let's just go. Let's move on because Courtney just had to ruin the moment. We are going to start up here with Cousin Dan. Fridays, man, which is everybody's favorite segment on this show is we're going to bring Dan in. Cuzzo, how are you feeling?
What up, cuz? What's going on?
What is going on, brother?
Dang, looks like he wants to swing on me right now.
Nah, you good.
What?
You good.
You talking about,
He's so disappointed.
He said love and love.
I'm just hurt.
Before we get to the actual, game picking, Dan, what were some of your thoughts from this past weekend that we just watched of football? What were some observations you have from there?
Man. Cowboys hurt me, bro.
That's your man. Your boy.
That motherfucker Dak. I mean, you know what? I mean, Dak was bad, but it's just like the defense just said, fuck it. Like, they didn't even, like, try.
Oh, they saw.
Like, Dan Quinn was just up there with fucking senioritis or something, bro. Like, I was like, damn. Like, so the Cowboys, that hurt me, but I can't lie. Seeing Jordan Love be elite, that warmed my heart because I got a lot of ops on the Bear side of things. So
I bet it did.
I couldn't really, like, hate, you know what I'm saying? So I fucked with seeing Jordan Love go crazy, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know, the Texans shocked me. I didn't think that they were ready to do that. I mean, I think they're gonna get clapped soon enough, but the Texans surprised me. I mean, I knew Mahomes and crew was gonna take care of business, and the Eagles. I told y'all. I said on this show, I think the Bucs were gonna win, and I don't think it's gonna be close. Like, them motherfuckers got some problems, bro. Like, I don't know what happened, but they just stopped playing football after 11 games. It's kind of weird. So the Eagles got a lot of questions going into the fucking offseason. Like, I believe in Jalen Hurts, but I don't know, bro. Like, homie might have to come to Jesus. Buffalo, we ain't really got to talk about. I think we all expected them to clap Pittsburgh. And like I said, I never believed in the Dolphins, so I don't really have to harp on that.
Let's just get right into the schedule, man. So we got the first day. We got 4 games this week, and I always get depressed when we get the divisional weekend because that means you only got like 3 more weeks of football left. So that I'm really disheartened about that. But we got 4 games this week. We're gonna start off with the Saturday schedule. First game of the afternoon will be Texans and Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium over there in Baltimore. We had the homie Rita on Monday. We kind of previewed that game a little bit, and she gave her takes. It looks like it's going to be a snow game tomorrow, which should be interesting. This is an important game. I feel like obviously I don't want to say that the Texans have nothing to lose because there's a shot to the AFC Championship game, and I don't care how bright their future is. You never know how many of these opportunities gonna come. That's just how the NFL happens. I mean, Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl and he never got close to that shit again. So you never know how many times these opportunities are gonna come. So I don't want to say there's nothing on the line for them, but I do feel like they're kind of playing with house money. Everything is on the line for the Ravens. This is their year, and I'm gonna say this about the Bills later too, but this is their year. With Mahomes being as vulnerable as Mahomes can be in this situation, you don't have a Joe Burrow to worry about. This is your best time. You have the home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs, and it looks like Lamar is going to win his second MVP. I won't say it's now or never, but it's time for him to win. He's 0-2 in the playoffs, and he needs to go out there and to shut a lot of the critics up. Shut me up. You know what I'm saying? I've said I got to see him win the playoffs. Shut Dan up because you Kodak Jack. Shut anybody else up who may have things to say about him and go out there and win the game. You don't want to go in there and have a couple weeks off, which I'm concerned about, and let a rookie come in there and beat you in your house. A rookie head coach beat you in your house and go on to the next round, have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So having said all of that and all the things that I feel is going on, I do think Baltimore is going to win, and I think Baltimore is going to win by multiple touchdowns. I think you're going to finally see C.J. Stroud struggle. I think this is the perfect defense to go against C.J. Stroud, and I think this team in general knows it's just their time. And Lamar Jackson is a better player than he was 4 years ago, the last time he was in the playoffs, and I feel like this is the particular time to get it. So I'm going to go with the Texans by 14 points in this one. Dan, where you see this game and who you got?
Wait. You said the Texans or the Ravens?
I mean, my bad, the Ravens. My bad.
Okay,
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Courtney, for correcting me. I got the Ravens. Yeah.
So it's like you said, man. Like, I think the Ravens should win, even though I don't ultimately believe in the Ravens or Lamar Jackson. That's just me. I think Lamar has to show us. Like, first of all, let me take a step back. I think he should be thanking his lucky stars that the Browns aren't the team that he has to play.
Yeah. Never want to play a division rival 3 times.
Right. So, I mean, there's that part. I don't think Stroud is going to struggle against the Ravens. I think the Browns actually have a better defense. they just didn't really have a quarterback. But I think C.J. Stroud is actually, he's going to be his usual self, 3-4 touchdowns. I don't see him struggling this game. I'm going to pick the Ravens only because they're supposed to win this, and they really have no fucking choice. But I kind of disagree with you there. I feel like the Texans no one expected this. They don't really actually have weapons out wide or in the backfield that are like substantial threats, and they're still doing what they're doing. So, but I'm picking the Ravens by, let's say, a touchdown.
All right. Courtney, what you got on this game?
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, the Texans really are playing with house money. That is not to discredit the incredible season that they've had by any means. And in my opinion, I do think that the sky's kind of the limit for them, especially the luck that they've had this season. Without Tank Dell, that was huge. They had no CJ Stroud for a couple of games and still managed to win the division. I still like the Ravens by, I'd say, probably 14 points, a minimum. No, Marlon Humphrey was not great for the Ravens, but I still think CJ Stroud struggles, throws maybe, I'd say, two picks, and the Ravens win by 14.
All right, so you on my side, Dante. How you see this one?
I think 14 is extremely aggressive. I hear y'all, but I think that's aggressive. Like,
they said it's going to be windy and rainy, or snowy. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, but my boy did this thing at Ohio State, so CJ Stroud ain't the one I'm worried about playing in the elements. I do think that'll slow the game down a little bit, but this is a perfect clash of styles. You got the Ravens, who played the best zone in the league all season, and you have CJ, who was one of the best quarterbacks against the zone all season. So seeing them really go against each other, I have the Ravens, but I think the Ravens are going to win by probably a Justin Tucker field goal. Like, I don't think it's going to be a game where they really just kick their ass. I think the Texans are real. They legit. They're well coached. They're well disciplined team. And I know we talk about they don't have a lot of weapons, but that's one of the good things about, having coaches that know what they're doing, because they scheme guys open when you watch them play. Like CJ is throwing the guys, in space, getting them in space, making the anticipatory throws that everybody talks about. I know that's the new buzzword for quarterbacks, but he's been doing it all season. So I think he'll keep doing that. But this Ravens defense combined with Lamar Jackson, like I said, I got the Ravens by a Justin Tucker field goal.
And that would be interesting to see Justin Tucker, because he has not been lights out this year either. So, and especially in those elements, that would bring a little bit of intrigue to it. Bang's in the bathroom break right now. But he did say in the chat that he's going Ravens. So we're going to move on to the next game. This one, Packers-Niners, which is the most played playoff game in NFL history. These two have met the most. They met over 10 times now. And this is something that the Niners have had the Packers number the last couple of years. They've had the Packers number at Levi. They've had the Packers number at Lambeau Field. This to me is an interesting game. All Packer hate aside, the Packers can win this fucking game. No, they would not surprise me if they win this fucking game. There's another team playing with house money. You got a guy in Jordan Love, who's playing very well, dominating. You got the Packers. This was supposed to be a retool year. I hate the word rebuild, because to me, rebuilds only matter in the NFL, in the NBA, and in Major League Baseball. I feel like it's retools. I mean, I think the Texans are a prime example of that. This is a retool year for them, and here they are with a chance to go to the NFC Championship game. And the thing that scares me about the Niners is the same thing that scares me about the Ravens. These niggas have been off for 3 weeks. And the bye week to me is the gift and the curse. And you got a team with the Packers been in the playoffs for the last month and a half, and they're coming in there feeling good. Matt LaFleur has, experience against this team. And like you just said, Dante, what you gonna do, Brock Purdy? Like, this is your time. Everybody is saying that, you can't do this, you can't do that. All the guys who Cam Newton called game managers are out of the fucking playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You might be the next one to add to the fucking list. And if you look at everybody else in the NFC, the Cowboys was a team people will talk about you might have to go against. The Eagles, everybody wanted to see that Eagles-Cowboys rematch. Eagles-Niners rematch. Them niggas are out the playoffs. So this is your conference to lose right now. You're at home. You have to get it done. And if you don't, there's going to be a lot of question marks there. And we all know, as great as Kyle Shanahan is, he be doing some dumb shit when the money's on the line. Having said all of that, I'm going to go San Francisco 49ers, but I do think this is going to be a close game. I'm going to go with the Niners by a touchdown in this one because I believe in their defense more than I believe in the Green Bay Packers defense. But I do think that Jordan Love has a good game on Saturday. Bang, you're back. You said you had the Ravens. Can you give us a quick explanation why you got the Ravens and how you feel about this Niners Packers game?
Because that defense, simple as that. And as far as this 49ers game, I don't think this game is going to be close. I think that the 49ers are going to come out there and make a statement. I have the 49ers by at least 17.
Okay. Dan, what you feel about this one?
Yeah. So it's one of them games where it's like Bang said, the 49ers should wash the Packers, but we said that about the Cowboys too. So, for me, I think Brock Purdy's unproven. I think the Packers are just like not giving a fuck and just having fun out there. You can tell, like there is no pressure really. So, for our purposes, I'm going to pick the Packers.
For our purposes, I respect it.
Just because I know that would like crush the soul of a lot of people in Cook County. So I'm gonna take the Packers by like, I don't know, a touchdown just for shits and giggles. However, if they, this is a game that they should die in. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
I respect that. Courtney, how you got this one rolling?
Yeah, this is one of those games that for me, I think is also going to be, I guess not a blowout, but I got the Niners by 14. I don't think that the Packers are going to be able to contain Christian McCaffrey, and I think he's going to give us at least 2 touchdowns on the ground. So I'll say Niners by 14 as well. But good luck to the Packers.
So you're going to say there's going to be a chance of me tweeting the Stone Cold, that's how a white man runs the football. We're going to get a couple of them during this game. Dante, how you got this one rolling, man?
Man. I can't say it. I got the 49ers. I wanted to say I thought about it because like they was playing well. They've been playing well, and Buddy is everything that we didn't want him to be. But I think Jordan Love plays well. But I got the Niners by a touchdown. I don't think they're gonna blow them out. I do think it'll be one of those games where the Niners will be up by like 7 or 10 the whole time, and the Packers will like make it a game. But the Niners will be in control start to finish. I got the Niners.
All right. Let's go on to the Sunday games, man. Sunday got another doubleheader. We're going to start off with another NFC North team. The Detroit Lions, we host another playoff game coming off a big win, their first playoff win in 30 years last week over the Los Angeles Rams. They will be hosting the NFC South champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield. This, man, is going to be a very good game. Really, all 4 of these games, I think, just have great storylines, great intrigue, and I feel really could go either way. On the way Baker Mayfield is playing, I feel like Baker Mayfield has finally found a home. I do think we saw some flashes of him starting to put it together when he was in Carolina, and I don't think that Cleveland should have let go of him to fucking begin with, honestly, but he's really actually become what a lot of people thought he would become. Now, he's not great. I'm not going to act like Baker Mayfield is great, or he's like, really, he's a good quarterback, but you can win with good quarterbacks. He had 3 touchdowns on Monday. Probably could have had 1 or 2 more if a couple receivers didn't drop passes, but he's been really good. That defense has been playing well. Mike Evans is reminding everybody why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Detroit's been playing well too. Jared Goff has been, showing people that Detroit did not make a mistake by bringing him there. The running game has been great. Amon-Ra St. Brown, and this defense, which was not the best towards the end of the season, was really good last week. And I think that's something that's going to come into play here as well. I can see this one going either way, but I do think the dream season of the Detroit Lions continues, and I think they're going to win this game, and we're going to continue to get further and further away from Bang having any credibility of saying nobody gives a fuck about the Detroit Lions because they're going to be 1 win away from the fucking Super Bowl. Bang, what you feel about it? As I can see your face, what you feel about this matchup?
Don't nobody give a fuck about the Detroit Lions, but Detroit. And I'm standing on that. And I'm standing on that. All right. But before I give my prediction, you know why you're going to change your mind, Scott, about Justin Fields and Caleb Williams?
Why?
Because you just said that the Cleveland Browns shouldn't have gave up on Baker Mayfield. And who did they give up on Baker Mayfield for? Freaky Sean Watson. And look what's going on. They got Joe Flacco out here that led them into, to the playoffs. They got their ass whipped by the Texans, but he led them to the playoffs. So that's why you're going to change your mind. Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a field goal, y'all. That defense is still spotty at best. So when you put that spotty-ass defense with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin over there, they got a great running game with White over there, and Baker Mayfield is playing with house money. Now we're going to see how it is to have the pressure on you. I don't think that the Detroit Lions had pressure on them in their first playoff game last week. I don't think it was too pressurized. They should have won that game, and they still almost lost that game. When that Rams game, they probably should have lost that game. So now you're going against a team that has just enough weapons, but they're going against somebody who's a good defensive coach that could put that defense in the right situations. I have the Detroit Lions losing by a heartbreaking field goal, and Dan Campbell going to be sitting on that field crying his ass off. Amon-Ra, the right St. Brown, going to be mad. He going to throw his helmet on the ground, and David Montgomery ass going to be like, damn, well, maybe next year. I'm used to this shit. Tampa Bay by 3.
Dan, what you think about this matchup? Which way you going, Bucks or Lions?
Okay. Well, I think the Bucks are a feel-good story, but they're not. Like, they've been ass. I'm a little confused as to why everyone thinks it's gonna be like a heavyweight bout or something. I think the Lions take care of these guys rather easily. I mean, they were playing fucking Matt Stafford. Sean McVay and the Rams and Matt Stafford, they know what the fuck to do, bro. So, that's a team that you're going to look out for next year. Sean McVay knows what he's doing, but I still think the NFC South is ass. I don't believe in the Bucks, even though they've been playing well. Baker's proved to us that he can be like Jared Goff, you know what I mean? I can run this offense. We can win with my talent. So, but having said that, I think Detroit, first of all, I think they felt a lot of fucking pressure not winning a playoff game.
Last week was a lot of pressure.
Yeah. I disagree with that. A lot. I think they felt a lot of pressure last week, and I think it's only going to intensify. But I think they're going to take care of business. So I got the Lions by a touchdown.
Courtney, which way you leaning in this one?
Yeah, I'm really with Bang. Don't nobody give a damn about the Lions, but in his defense,
there you go.
Don't nobody give a damn about the Buccaneers either.
This we don't give a fuck, Bo.
Yeah, this particular game is real big. I really don't care energy. I do think that the Lions are going to win. I was trying to decide if I thought that they were going to win by 2 field goals or a touchdown, but I think I'm with you, Dan. I think they win by a touchdown. It's a good run. Listen. I don't know if you saw the clip of Baker Mayfield with the ammonia salts going out of the tunnel onto the field. If they give that man the salts, I'm just saying that anything is possible.
So we saying inside Baker, is a threat to be dealt with. Are we going to see awkward Baker Mayfield dances after this game? I think that's something we need to pay attention to. Dante, what's your take on this one?
I got Detroit by 10. I think they stamped their ticket to the NFC Championship. Again, it's another one. It's a little easier to say this because, to JR's point, I really don't care about the Lions, but I understand. They on their run. It's great. It's dope for my family from the D, but I don't give a fuck. So I can say they gonna win. I'm cool with it.
This so nobody outside of 313 gives a damn about this bowl. Let's go to the main events. the main event on this was a WWE pay-per-view. This is the one with Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler give you a nice little promo before they get into a little 3-minute promo. Remember they just play them little old school rock songs? Them old WWE promos, the reason I knew like certain rock songs. I didn't listen to rock music, but them shits will always be cold. Like this is gonna be like a WrestleMania 17 type promo going in this one. We got Mahomes Allen Part 3. A lot of people, want to call this the new era. Brady, Manning, just because they've met so many times. Of course, you got Burrow has met Mahomes in the AFC Championship game twice. You can also say Burrow's injured this year, so we got to figure out who's the Big Ben on the field in this equation. I want to put on the field. When we're talking about Ben Roethlisberger, who's in that equation. But this one is a massive matchup. This is the first time that Patrick Mahomes will be playing on the road in his playoffs in his career. It's the first time the Kansas City Chiefs have had a playoff game on the road since 2015 when Alex Smith was a coach. Was a quarterback. This is a big game. I've been going back and forth with this all week. Up until like literally before we did this show an hour and a half ago. Started the show an hour and a half ago. This to me is the same thing what I'm saying about the Ravens, but to a greater extent. If not now, then when? Josh Allen. If not now, then when? Buffalo Bills. And that's just really the Buffalo Bills franchise in general. There's a whole ass 30 for 30 on them niggas losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. I would not be watching sports again if my favorite team lost 4 fucking Super Bowls in a row. So if not now, when? This is the most vulnerable that Patrick Mahomes is ever going to be. Let's be very clear. The general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs is going to put every fucking dollar into getting NFL quality wide receivers next season. So this is the most vulnerable he's going to get. There's a lot of injuries on the defensive side for the Bills. They lost a couple people in that game against the Steelers. Gabe Davis isn't going to be playing, so I'm expecting a lot of Cook, a lot of Stephon Diggs. But, and honestly, I liked how the Chiefs played last week. Granted, I don't think anybody, like you said, then nobody picked the Dolphins. The Dolphins should have fucking not even showed up. Nobody thought the Dolphins were going to win that game. That defense is going to keep it close. Mahomes made throws, and there's something about them in the playoffs where I'm giving Mahomes a Tom Brady, you still got to beat them thing. Having said all of that, I'm going to go with the Bills. Am I confident about it? Absolutely not. There's not a confident bone in me with this pick, but I'm picking it solely because if not now, then when? But in the words of Omar Little, if you come for the king, you bet not miss. And I don't know the name of the linebacker on the team. It was Deion something. He said something that made me scared. When he was like, well, Pat's never been in this position. We have a home field. Last time he was here, it was COVID. He's never been around Bills Mafia. Do not poke the bear. So that has me very worried. But I'm going to go Bills. Courtney, which way are you leaning? I know you're a Josh Allen hater. But
100%. 100%. But I'm also a realist, and I completely agree with you. If the Bills don't win this time, it's never going to happen. And then they really need to sit there and reevaluate their game plan. We had this discussion earlier this year, though, about no matter what the matchup is, we had this conversation, roll the tape. I know you can't do that, but roll the tape. Where you said that until somebody proves that they can actually dethrone the Chiefs, that y'all would always ride with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
I did say that.
Because no matter what, that man shows up. Conditions ain't that different from Kansas City. I think the Chiefs win by a field goal in Buffalo, 24-21.
Shout out. You're right. I did say that. And I don't feel good about this pick. No part of me feels good about this pick whatsoever.
Oh, I don't feel good about mine either, for the record. I'm hitching my wagon to Travis Kelce showing up and then also a man named Sky Moore. So that's
to
crazy.
me, this is why I don't feel good, because the defense of Kansas City is going to make this close. And we all know, as much as I like Josh Allen, he has a bozo gene like none other. Like there's going to be some way that he could
Josh Allen over half a pick. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit.
Dan, which way are you leaning? We know you also on team Patrick Mahomes. Which way are you leaning?
I mean, I'm not. Listen, if the Chiefs play like they played last week, I feel like the Chiefs can win comfortably. So the Bills don't have as good of defense as the Chiefs has, in my opinion. I feel like the Chiefs is a top 5 defense, and I feel like if the Chiefs play the game that they played last week, and receivers like Rashee Rice seems to be their new number 1 guy, because all Patrick ever needs is one more receiver outside of Kelsey to fucking show up. If that happens, then I feel like the Chiefs can match the. If the Chiefs can do that against the Dolphins, okay, which is a high octane offense, and pretty much shut that shit down. I'm not saying they're gonna shut down Josh Allen or whatever, but I'm just saying that defense gives them a great chance. I think it's gonna be. I think this is the whoever wins this game is going to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So that's how much like weight that I have put on this game. So and I understand like Josh Allen is Josh Allen. You know, he's gonna do his bozo shit, but he's super fucking dangerous. But this is a different. We're just not used to seeing Mahomes be more of a like, you know, it's not all on my back. He actually has a defense now. I think they're gonna take care of business in Buffalo. So I got the Chiefs by 3 points. I think it's gonna be a good ass game, but I don't think there's any like the Chiefs have been knocked out in the divisional round before, right? Didn't they lose to
not in the Patrick Mahomes era.
Yeah,
not in the Patrick Mahomes era. They've only lost in the AFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl.
Right, the AFC. I'm sorry. So AFC Championship. They lost. Like what I'm saying is, I don't think there's any pressure for him being in Buffalo. Who was it? Deion Dawkins that said that shit. Like,
yeah, it was Deion Dawkins. That's who it was.
This is a 2-time Super Bowl winner here. So this isn't like, you know, oh my God, like I've never been like motherfucker. Like I've won 2 Super Bowls under pressure. First one I wasn't supposed to win. So I don't think he's going in there like, oh, there'll be questions about like I don't think any of that exists for the Chiefs. So I don't feel like there's much pressure. They're just gonna go out there and just play a good game, I feel like. So I got them by 3.
This is a historical day, by the way. Mark it. It is Friday, January 19th at 5:37 p.m. Central Time. Me and Dan agreed on something.
We just hate the Cowboys. That's the only thing we just agreed on.
I will say this. I'm with you, Dan. As far as I don't think there's not one nervous bone in Patrick Mahomes. Like if there's anything, if you saw Quarterback on Netflix, and if you haven't watched it, it's really great. That motherfucker's a psycho. So if there's anything, I feel like this is gonna hype this nigga up. So that's why I'm worried about my pick. Dante, which way you think you got this one going?
I got Buffalo. I think Josh Allen gets it done at home. I think it's going to be a good game. Pat's going to make it a game. He'll bring them back into it and battle back. But at the end of the day, bro, like I said, I don't trust anybody outside of Travis Kelce and Pat on that offense. So they could try to get Pachenko going. Like y'all said, they need one other receiver to come out. And it's easy to say, well, if we just get one person, you know, to step up. But no, I'm going to go with Buffalo. I think Josh Allen keeps it rolling, and they head off to the AFC Championship.
Bang. Take us home, man. Which way you got this one going?
I think Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest to play the game. And I'm not worried about him. As Dan said, they got a top 5 defense. I ain't worried about the defense. But I am worried about them wide receivers in Buffalo. And that's why I'm going with the Buffalo Bills here. I think if they was in Kansas City, I would be picking the Chiefs. But I'm worried about the wide receivers in this pressure situation under the lights in Buffalo. I can't take them. I could take Patrick Mahomes, but I can't take them. I hope I'm wrong. Let me just say this. I hope I'm wrong because I don't want Josh Allen to get in the NFC Championship game and stick up the joint and basically waste a Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson matchup, which is the matchup that I'm anticipating. That's the matchup I want to see. The Ravens versus the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's what I want to see. But I'm worried about the wide receivers in Buffalo. And that's why I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills by 3.
And that's going to conclude our playoff preview. Dan, before we get you out of here, is there anything you want to close with before we get you out of here?
Yeah, man. I want to say to Caleb Williams, stay away from Chicago, bro. Don't fuck with it, man. Don't go ahead and have that conversation that Eli had with the Chargers, bro. Like, don't be generational somewhere. Kliff Kingsbury, I don't know why this motherfucker, Kliff Kingsbury ain't won shit. That should not tempt you to want to come here, bro. Go be generational somewhere, man. That's all I got to say.
As a lifelong Bears fan, I can't argue that. I want to, but I can't. If you know better, you probably shouldn't come in. I definitely agree with that, man. But Dan, let them know they can follow you at, man.
At Dan_Glorious on Twitter.
Definitely, cuz we look forward to talking to you next week. We get ready for Championship Sunday, man. We're going to move on to the final segment of this show, which I like to call Goofy Mog of the Week. Goofy Mog of the Week, for those of you who are new to the program, this is basically where I point out something that somebody did, whether in sports media, that was extremely goofy. And last week I had Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers, which I did not want to give Pat that because y'all know I'm a massive Pat McAfee fan. But the name of this show is called I'm Not Gonna Hold You, and I had to do what I had to do. This week I'm giving it to somebody who I really don't care about giving it to. That is Emmanuel Acho of Fox Sports. For really, there's a whole bunch of things you can give this nigga Goofy Mog of the Week for. Like, I've heard a lot of unsavory things about this gentleman. I don't know him personally, so I can't tell you if they're true or not. But this little thing of taking something that, is kind of what we were just talking about a minute ago about saying that Caleb Williams was going to not into the draft because he doesn't want to go to Chicago. He's going to go into a supplemental draft, which 100% came from a troll account. And you think somebody in his position in media would know the difference between a troll account and a real account. Then he got called out for it on Twitter, and he tweeted people and said, "Oh, I knew it wasn't real. I just did that for engagements. So that's why I put it on an unserious platform like TikTok." Now, I'm not here to say that he is wrong about how you get engagements. Even if he felt like, "Oh, I want to do this to get engagements," fine. Don't go up there and say you're getting it for engagements and act like the fans and the people on Twitter are wrong for calling you out on the bullshit. That is just a nasty way to go about things. And he's somebody who always wants to call somebody out. But when they call him out on his shit, he want to act like his shit don't stink. So I think we don't need stuff like that in media to be called out. To be said out in the public. Yes, we do know this is a content-based era. It just is what it is. Bullshit moves the needle way more than real shit. We can give another prime example. Shannon Sharp has been giving great interviews on Club Shay Shay for the last year. It didn't really blow up till he had Cat Williams going on there naming names. And, he had a good interview with Country Wayne this week. That didn't get the same attention as Cat going out there and saying things about Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer and Kevin Hart. So I do know what moves the needle in the media. So I'm not wrong. I'm not mad at his actual reasoning for doing it. I wouldn't do it that way, but I'm not wrong as somebody who's going out there. But don't show the playbook to people, man. And then get mad when people call you out on that shit, man. So I'm gonna give my Goofy Mog of the Week this week to Mr. Emmanuel Acho. So that's all we've got for y'all today on the actual free edition of the show. Yeah, man, if you want to see what we're going to talk about next, we're about to go into record the Patreon episode, which is I'm Not Gonna Hold You Overtime, as you can see on the screen right now, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. You can sign up for that $5 holla if you just want to see I'm Not Gonna Hold You content. But if you want everything we have on this great network, sign up for the $10 Barber Chair All Access. We'll be talking about our Bears fans actually scared of the potential of drafting Caleb Williams. We're going to talk about what does this whole offensive coordinator search say about Ryan Poles. And then we're also going to talk about a possible NFL ESPN merger, which I think is murky waters right there from a media perspective. And then we're unfortunately going to talk about a team that I used to root for, the Chicago White Sox, and then potentially moving on to a new stadium. Before we get up out of here, is there anything y'all want to say before we wrap this up?
Nobody gives a damn about the Detroit Lions. But the Detroit Lions.
And I'm sticking with it. And I think that's all. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChair. Scott, You can follow the Barbers Chat Network at Barbers Chat Net. Follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all platforms. You can follow Courtney at 1-800-COLLAR-BRO on all platforms. And you can follow Dante on Twitter at OctoberZoneTay. I don't even know Dante's Instagram name off the top of my head right now, but if you want to see him golfing with Stephen A. Smith, you can go over there and find him on on his Instagram, man. So y'all have a good weekend, and we will holler at y'all on Monday, recapping the divisional weekend and getting y'all ready for the NFC Championship, AFC Championship Sunday. Also, we will announce the first award. We'll announce the nominees and the first award from the I'm Not Gonna Hold You awards on Monday. And also get well, Mikey. So we'll holler at y'all on Monday, y'all. We up out of here.